Are you ready for this? Because I am not. I am just. It's so hot here. But we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna make Fiiish v3 A and B or GD and U. And this back here went much smoother than I thought. I mean, there was some initial Unity trouble, and I still think I messed up the project setup. But considering, I mean, we can swim, and that's the original swim in the right position. We can die. Well, we can die by being killed, and we can swim back in and can restart over. So we have a game, right? Well, kind of. So let's stop this here. Stop this here. Have a quick look at the plan. And I want to go back to the Godot version, but we're still in Unity leapfrog mode. So I think setup base project we have done G and U, so we have done X, right? In progress, actually we're kind of here, right? I want to. That was yesterday, right? And today is today, and we did Unity setup basic project. And I think we did this and we're done with it, right? So we're kind of here. We have a U version. We still need G, but I want U to get a bit ahead, and that means obstacles. Get some stuff in the scene. I'm going to ignore the sideways movement, but I want to see the obstacles in game. So good. So good. Could just drink all day long just to stay hydrated. Sorry about that, but the heat is on. The heat is on. Ganz grauenvoll, ja. So let's say in progress, Unity set up obstacles and collisions. And so I'm not 100% sure how we do this, but I'm thinking right now, okay, right now. What if we manually put some obstacles and put one down here so when we dive down, the fish dies? Sounds like a plan. So we dive down, hit the obstacle, and then trigger the hey, die. This needs to accelerate somehow. This is too slow. Probably auto respawn as well, right? But we're gonna do this. We will do this, and I forgot to renew my lighter license off stream, blah. So we're gonna live with this for the time being, and this is only gonna get worse. So obstacles, obstacles. So just to stay in line with the original, right? Scripts, assets, Fiiish v3 Unity. This is the shared assets, right? So we have obstacles, and I'm just gonna do the same here, right? And I'm just gonna, shall we just put the block in? No, I actually want to start with the rocks, because the rocks don't move. That's good. The rocks don't move. Let's just do some rocks right now. We put them all on the screen so they're visible, but we cannot collide only with one. So we're gonna, okay, textures. And we probably should, there's two ways to organize this, right? It's by asset type, texture, script, scenes, or by object. So have everything for obstacles together, I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, but obstacles, right? And then create folder rocks. And I'm not sure about uppercasing this, but we started like this, so we continue. And I want to add these 4 rocks, right? Done. I need to remember to do this, otherwise all our scaling will be off. So I could just do this, right? Or I could just do this. This is a bit much, right? So we probably use too much. Too much. B. We're going to use this, right? Going to use this, but I don't want this to be on the fish or the background layer, right? So I'm going to add a new empty and call this obstacles. And we need zone management, auto spawning, and up here we used lowercase. I'm not sure that's the smart move. Right, so we have an obstacles layer. We can, so the fish has a z minus 10. I want to add a new layer for that, right? So what if we just pull this rock here into this, right? Wait, fish is 10. Background, they're both at 10, right? So why is this at 0? This is at 10, so I'm gonna add a new sorting layer. I'm gonna call this obstacles. Obstacles? No, not on. Not obstacles. The editor in Unity is a bit... obstacles. So we put this thing here just to be sure on obstacles, which is in front, which is nice. And then we just put this thing down, right? And I think... So if I press play now, nothing will happen, right? I can just swim right behind it. And I think behind is good. Behind is... Why is that? I don't get this sorting. I don't... So, background player obstacles. Oh, it's from top to bottom. Okay, I get it. So, what we need for this rock, we need to add a collision, right? We need to add a collision shape. And this thing is, I'm going to do it... We want a polygon collider, right? And actually, that's not too bad. That is not too bad, my friend. Maybe I should put my feet into... a bucket of ice. Shall we just do the same? Here's the thing. This thing is animated, right? So we have to be careful with the... I think... Okay, we're gonna add a custom collider. The problem is, right, we have an animation on this. We do have an animation on this, right? So if we play this now, we're gonna look here. This thing doesn't fit, right? So we have to be careful where we put this collider, but we can tweak it so that the head is relative stable, right? And if I just go down here and rotate a bit, it's still kind of okay, right? For the moment, we... Can I onion skin this animation? Can I? I would like to preview the animation. I mean, it's a trigger, right? So I would love to scrub the animation so we can see. Can I? Can I? Where does this colliders? Can I edit this somewhere? Okay, I can edit this now. So I would love to see that with animation. What does it? How do I? Okay, let's live with this collide of the moment, right? Let's live with actually how. Okay, this moves it. Can I? Okay, I just want to remove the whole tail stuff, right? So does it actually join the things here? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I would like to delete this point, right? How do I delete this point? Unity polygon collider. Unity polygon collider remove vertex. I mean, why do I have to? Click edit, hover, hold command, control, the vertex will become red. I tried that, right? Yeah, doesn't work. Oh, if I hold the edge. Oh. That's more like it, right? Can I please? We can fine tune this later. I just want to kind of get this. We're undersizing this because we want to be friendly to the player, so a little bit of overlap is okay. Right. And yeah, the fin here. I mean, this. And then move this to include a bit of the body. Why am I having ads again? So something like that, right? Much more user friendly. Why am I seeing ads? We just We just didn't. We just started 10 minutes ago. Twitch, you're overdoing it, right? So, can I visualize the colliders in... polygon colliders, right? Show hide. But I... Okay, more Unity doc. Unity. Show collider liders in game. And click this button. Which button? Select your objects in the inspector while the game is running and click this button. Which button? Okay. Select your object and then click which button? No. Can you? Well, why is the play button not... Why is the play button the stop button? Oh. I... Okay, is there a way to... Is there a way... I mean, it's nice to see this collider, right? I cannot... We will fix this collider later. We want the logic first, right? So what do I want to do? We have colliders now, right? And we have the fish, which has a collider, which is a trigger, and we have the rock. Where layers over, force send layers, contact kept, callback layers, everything. So I want to, here's the thing. I want the collider to call the script when something is triggered, right? So Unity call script when collider is triggered. Collider on trigger, enter. On trigger, enter. I mean, on trigger, enter. Debug.log. Fish colliding. Is it that simple? Oh, there's 3 compilers getting on. All compiler. Semicolon expected. Thank you. So watch the console. I expect. Okay, this collider is definitely triggered, right? Okay. Both objects must contain a collider. One must have a collider is trigger enabled and contain a rigid body. it must contain, if both objects have collider is trigger enabled, no collision happens. So one must have is trigger enabled and contain a rigid body. Okay, add component rigid body 2D. The type of the, I mean, so I think it's gonna be kinematic, but let's try constraints. It's just a trigger, right? So it should just trigger. And it does not. It does not. I mean, create a primitive game object, attach a collider and a rigid body, enable collider is trigger, and rigid body is kinematic. Okay. I mean, that's what we suspected, right? We just want the... And I don't see... Trigger colliders don't cause collision, and on trigger enter. On trigger enter. Right? Unity calls this function on trigger when it first makes. Stay exit. I don't care, right? I just care about the prints a message. On trigger enter. On trigger enter 2D. Really? Really? It's on trigger enter 2D with a collider 2D. I mean, I could have searched for that forever, right? Is it colliding? Okay. So, for the moment, right? If this dot state equals state dot swimming, right? Swimming. And here's the thing, we have the kill script somewhere here, right? We have the kill script, kill. So void go to dying, right? And then basically we say go to dying. Don't duplicate this code, right? Because he might play a sound and do other stuff. So go to dying. So down here is we basically say go to dying, right? Okay, go to dying. And we play again, and we die again. So I want to move that rock. I want to move that rock, and for the time being just have it wrap around, right? So we can actually test if we can swim by it. And so do I animate? So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I could just have multiple of these and animate them individually, right? But I would like to actually just have the zone. So what if we had a parent here, right? And this was the zone. And then what we could do is, we could just move the zone, right? We could move the whole zone. We could move the whole zone instead of moving individual objects. I think that feels kind of better. I'm not sure. Because when we spawn a zone, the old code just, when we enter a new zone, it just spawns all the objects and then they fly by and destroy themselves. So I'm not sure about the structure here, right? But what if we had a new script, right? What if we had a script and called that create C# script? Shall we try to script this visually? No, no, no. And this will open a second editor on the other screen, right? So we can just boom. So the obstacle, we just attach this script, right? And what I want to do, this has a speed, right? And I think this speed in the old fish was constant. So this has a movement, right? And then there's a movement.x. And when I swim, it's the self speed times the time step, but ooh. So the speed is 240, right? And maybe this should be some kind of global setting. Maybe on the game level, right? What if we create an empty and call this game manager, right? And that game manager we attach that here, right? And that game manager opened on the other screen. So I'm just gonna drag it straight in here. Would be nice to use the same editor. What if this has a public float speed equals 240 0f, right? Because that means we have the speed here, And then the obstacle, how does the obstacle find the game manager? We could just drag this in here, right? I'm not going to do this, but we could just have a slot here. Unity reference node, named node in scene from script. I don't want to make this a singleton. Ways to find. I don't want to use a singleton. The singleton pattern is broken. I know it's Unity, so we probably have to do it. Right? So we could just drag it in, right? We could drag it in and then wire it up in the editor. So what we could do in obstacle, and I'm just doing this as an example, right? We could do public game object game manager equals a null, right? And then here in the rock, because it's public, it's somewhere down here, right? We could just say, hey, by the way, here's your game manager. That would be one way, and then we would manually set that everywhere. But I'm not happy about this. So what's the other way? But serialized. Yeah, so that's the same. It just means the protection level is private, but it shows up in the editor. Object defined. Game object find, and then just the name. Okay, so on start. So we can make this private, right? Private, and on start we say game manager. This, oh, we don't even have, well, game object dot find game manager, right? And then debug dot log obstacle speed plus game. I'm not sure if I want the explicit this here. Probably we need an accessor for that. Let's see. Yep. I mean, red on black. Who thought that was? Game object does not contain a. Oh, we need to cast it, right? It's not a game. Because this is a game object now, but we want. You should probably tag it. Find game object with tag. Okay, we can. We want a game manager, right? And then we say game manager. I'm not sure if this works. The non-generic cannot be used with, wait. Find object of type. Okay, there's no overloading. Cannot convert from string to bool. What? Argument 1 cannot convert from string to bool. Can we combine these two? Find object of type object. Object. Find first object of type. Wait. We did have a find, right? I mean, we could do this, right? And then if we start, we have a speed of 240, which is nice, right? We probably want to update that every frame because the speed might change. So what we probably gonna do is if this dot game manager not equals null, I hate these external check, right? Then we say float speed equals this dot game manager dot speed times time dot delta time, right? And then we do what we did with the fish. I'm gonna steal this. We probably could do a translate instead of manually setting the transform position is, and this is always X, right? So it's X, Y, and Z, right? DO overlay still working. So if the word, this is probably the wrong direction. Let's see. Yep. I mean, that's not right. The upside of this is we have now right. We have the game manager, and we can just set the speed to minus 200, and then it comes back, right? So we could even at any point we have slowdown zones, or we have slower zones, or we have mega fast zones, right? So, and we have one place where we change it for all of them. So I like that. The other thing is if we are moving, if we're not moving, they're doing not anything, right? If transform dot position, and this also will be a collider, right? Is we're moving to the left is smaller than minus, I don't know. Let's say 800 for the time being, so we see what's going on. Unity delete game object from script, right? Q free. I don't want to create, how to destroy an object in Unity. I hope there's a destroy deferred. Can I just destroy this? Can I just destroy this? And this is, we spawn on the right, they fly to the left, and then Hit uppercase this again. Aga. So the thing is, it starts moving and then it stops. Why does it stop? It should be destroyed, right? It destroyed the script. Let me guess. It was smart enough to destroy the script. Okay, we don't want to destroy the script. We want to destroy the game object, right? And let's do well, 800 was okay. It was still on screen, right? It disappears. Obviously, we do that someplace off screen, right? And the game manager. Okay. So here we have a little bit of a conundrum, right? Because the game manager should manage the game manager. So what if we have a current speed, right? And that returns this dot speed. That there is a reason. Give me a second. So the obstacle gets the current speed, not just a speed, right? Same. And the fish also gets the game manager, right? The fish, when it's spawned, gets the game manager. And I'll prefer to do this in code and not in the UI, right? And then we say on startup, we do this. Right, we initialize some data. And the thing is, void pause movement, right? And void resume movement, right? And this is basically private boolean moving equals true. Well, we start with false, right? We start with false. And then we say pause movement is this dot moving is false. And this dot moving is true, right? Righto. Righto. And then we say we could just do an if. We could just say if this dot moving. If we're moving, we return the speed, right? Else we return 0. Boolean. Oh, it's bool. And this is public. And this is public, and this is public, right? Come on. So right now we start non-moving, right? Nothing is happening. So once we start swimming, we want the world to start moving, right? So what the fish can do is update swimming. So I'm gonna do the same as with the dying. I'm gonna say go to swimming, right? And that's update waiting for start. And here we say go to swimming. Because he might trigger it from more than one place, right? And this is leftovers. But in this case, we say if this dot game manager is not null, then we say this dot game manager dot resume movement, right? And when we are in the go to dying, we basically pause the movement. We need to do more, right? But for the time being, we want to do the minimal needed. Step by step, we have the full game in our head and we don't want to go too far, so nothing is moving. I start swimming, and obviously that block died. Let's actually game manager have a public. Oh, Leute. Stupid tourists having a party inside front of the supermarket. So we have a bool here that says wrap world. And let's set that to true, right? And so if we have an obstacle here, and we know we have a game manager, right? So if this dot game manager dot wrap world, and then we do this, otherwise we destroy it, right? And if we wrap the world, then we just say, come on. And we just say, I don't know, we add 1600 for the time being, right? Just so it's visible. Obviously, you would do that off screen. So I start, it wraps, right? It keeps wrapping. And if I do that off screen, it will look like it's forever, but for us, for debugging, it's easier if it doesn't. So fish dies, right? World stops. Probably should do some fade out or explosion or bubble trigger, or we respawn and we continue where we left off. Obviously, zone reloading logic and stuff, but so here's the thing, right? I want 2 rocks, right? I want another rock. So what I would do is I just go to obstacles, rocks, and just take this rock and drag it in here, right? Build our level and then start it. And oh, that's not what we want, right? So let's undo this. So what we actually want, we want to make this a prefab. Can I? Okay, so this is in textures, right? So I'm going to create a new folder here. Create folder, as I said, prefabs, and folder obstacles. Create folder rocks, right? And then I say create prefab and call this rock B, right? And then basically I copy this, edit the prefab and paste this, right? I just want this. I don't want this. Actually, so now what I can do is I can put, I want this under obstacles, right? So I'm gonna delete this one. So it looks the same, right? And we have to be careful with the position, but if I start the world now, where is that? Where's that thing? We have the obstacles, right, with a transform, which is 0, 0. We have the rock. I mean, even if it was behind it, where is that? Ooh, ooh, ooh. So here's the thing, right? The position of this, if you put this to 0, 0, it should be the middle of the screen, right? And then we put Z to 20, which shouldn't matter, right? It's a Z, but this is on the layer, right? This is on sprite renderer. This is on layer obstacles. Why? What if we put this layer, just give this layer an offset? Okay. Unity. Right, so we have multiple problems now. Right, so this works, but I want to place this, right? I'm gonna place. Oh, that's the game. I want to. Can I please just? Can I please just? I mean, I can change the position, right? So can I please just? Oh, so I'm gonna. How the? So I'm gonna place this, right? But this places, I want to place this. So I don't get it. Here's the thing. If I put another rock, right? I put another rock B. And I can place this, right? And I start, and I didn't want to hit it. And I start, and since we're updating the local coordinate, that works, right? So, but can I seal this prefab? Can I? Because I want this local position, right? This local position to be 0, 0. I want this local position to be 0, 0 and actually change the position of this, right? But this, why can't I? The property is what? So I can edit this, right? But if I go back here, then okay, so I this has a position, right? Why can't I change this position in the editor? Unity change prefab position in editor. Yeah, and all the answers are wrong. Adding a prefab via its instance. Okay, so overrides, right? I can do this, right? Why can't I want to edit this value by clicking this and dragging this? Can I? Ah, Unity. I want to lock this prefab, right? Can I somehow? I mean, I have this prefab, right? And I want this to stay 0, 0. Right? I don't want to put the... Okay. So... The problem is, right? Why are these two... These two have the same position, right? But why are these two in different positions? Because the inner position... Wait, why? Okay, let's just delete this and delete this. So I drag this in here, right? It's in the center. And then I want to, what I actually want to do is I want to take this, I want to take this, and I can use this and can drag this, right? And then I drag another one, but that's not what I want to do, right? And then open this and go in here and put this here. And if I press play now, but that doesn't make sense. Right, so if I start swimming now, everything works as expected. Everything kind of works as expected. Ignore that the background is not moving, that's driving me crazy too. Right, so that works. Fish dead. Are they done out there? I need the window open. No, they're not. They're playing with the ATM. And I can just restart, right? So these will not be placed manually, right? So what I want to do is, this is a value, right? Minus 507 and 400. So I want to place this at minus 500 and minus 400, right? And then I place this, and I don't want to change the inner value. I want to change the outer value and just leave this as is and do this, right? The problem with this is, if I play now, the first one wraps correctly and the second one wraps correctly. So this is what I want, right? So I want a script that places these. So what if so I want to spawn random zones from the game manager later, right? And they come from a file, from a level editor, or even from Unity. So This is going to be tough. What is our goal? What is our current goal? Add obstacles with collisions. We kind of done that, right? So I think I need to read up on how to do prefabs. I mean, what I could do, right? We tag this obstacles, right? And then in the game manager, on start, right? We have a private game object obstacles, right? Which is null. A find object by tag, and that is obstacles, right? Let's see if this compiles. Okay. So what if we have a public void spawn zone, right? And for now, it's just any zone. And we say if the this dot obstacles is not null, right? Always do the null check. Probably do it the other way around, and probably we should call this obstacles, right? Unity spawn prefab via script, right? Instantiate prefab where. We can do that. Instantiate prefab. And where does a prefab come from? How do we find the prefab? You don't want to drag the prefab in, right? Unity instantiate prefab from asset name, right? Resources load. We either need the resources prefab. So we can just do, can we just do this? Where's the folder for that? Yes, we need asset bundles, resource folders, collections that are included. So we need a resources folder. Okay. So is that an assets or inside the project view? Where do, how do I, but that's assets, right? That's assets. Can I, Unity resources folder in assets. Addressables package. Window asset management addressables. Yeah, that sounds better. Window package manager. Window asset manager addressables. Window asset management. Wow, I love it when, so use window asset to begin. Unit addressable asset system. It's a package, right? So I need to add the package. Oh, not in project, in the Unity registry, and we want addressables, right? So we want to install addressables. We want to do that anyway, right? So might as well just do it now. So I hope now we have the window. So let's remove this resources folder, right? Yeah, go into prefabs, obstacles, rocks. I want to make this an addressable, right? Window asset management addressables. Window asset management. Okay. Package manager. Do I have to restart? Window asset management addressables. It's installed. Maybe I have to restart. Let's save and quit. Wait 5 seconds. Compilation errors. Yeah, because I was halfway typing stuff. Window. Ah. New packed assets. All I want to do is make this an addressable. assets, create addressables. I mean, Unity addressables tutorial. We're doing weird shit, weird stuff here. Can I have non-video tutorials, please? Make assets addressable. Okay. Loady dungeons, prereqs, review basics, set up the project, what is an addressable? Select the play button, navigate to assets resources. And the inspector window, select the prefab inspector, enable addressable. That's what I thought, right? So what do you mean this prefab has missing scripts? Where? Wait. All compiler errors have to be fixed. Game object does not. Okay. Okay, let's. Okay, that still works, right? So I want to go back into this prefab. I am in the prefab and I cannot make it addressable, right? Select. Select the prefab. In the inspector window, enable the addressable property. Select them and enable the addressable. Oh, I selected it in a scene, right? I have to select it here. So if I select it here and get that view, if I select it here, I get the addressable view, right? Group is packed assets, right? Okay, I made it an addressable. Open the addressable groups window. Window asset management, okay. Window asset management addressable groups, right? So we have the packed assets here, and that has the rock in there. And this is the pass, right? Okay, fair enough. So how do I access it? Make assets addressable in the addressable groups window. Make assets addressable. In the project window, resources. In the project window, change the address. Okay, so that's good, right? Change the address. In the project window, select an inspector, change the address in the project window. Is this the address? Obstacles, rock B. Right? Is this the address? I guess this is the address, right? I just load addressables in scripts. These tutorials are so. Shouldn't there be? Look at the. Right? Okay. Put this at the top of your script. We can do this, right? This should still compile. Good. We're going to do it like this. We're going to move this to the zone manager, right? But basically this is obstacles rock B handle, right? And then in the set head method, okay. So this is the handle that we store. And basically we say, okay, and the address is obstacles rock B, right? So on start, we will load that result, right? And just for good measure, we register a completion handler just for debugging, right? Just for debugging. So the handle has a completed callback, and we just say void on load complete, right? On load complete. We say debug.log load complete. So if I start this now, wait. Okay, the signature is wrong, but I guess, okay. And we could have just copied the example, right? Maybe we just steal this line as well. So if I start now, I expect this trace to appear after load complete succeeded, right? So if I have a typo in here and say, nope, I expect this load to fail, right? Exception, no location found for key. And we get the failed, which is fine, right? Which is fine. So we can do this. And I guess when we do the spawn zone, we still need to find tag. Unity game object reference. It's not that you can solve documentation differently, right? FG find with tag. So we have the obstacles, we have the prefab. So on spawn zone, and we will actually do the spawn zone on go to swimming, right? It's hacky, right? So we spawn the zone. And I hope by then the asset is loaded. If not, we have a problem. So we need to defer that, but probably we have some waiting mechanic like a loading spinner if that happens. So this spawn zone would probably block somehow, right? And I hope that we can just instantiate prefab and use this. Well, let's read the documentation, right? Okay, in the on disable method, we clean up, right? So we have a void on disable. We just remove ourselves. Just so we don't send the thing to a dead object, right? Makes sense. And then I mean, this is a bit more than we want, right? But okay, so let's decipher this step by step. So wait, async operation handle. Okay, I guess this is this, right? This is the async operation handle. So if the status is succeeded, then we take the result and instantiate it here, right? So if I press play, we have the don't destroy on load, right? We have the resource manager. Okay, fair enough. So I press space, right? And the load completed. Wait, so I run. I want to see this. I'm pretty sure we spawn it probably just somewhere where we don't see it. So load completed. We spawn the zone, but we do nothing else, right? So why? I mean, is obstacles. Didn't we find the game object? That would make me sad. Because we did tag this, right? Wait. We did tag this layer, right? As obstacles. Or did we just... Didn't we save that? Okay, so we spawn that rock in the middle and it collides. And the thing is, we don't have to spawn that in the middle, right? We can spawn it at minus 500, minus 400, 0f. Let's just, and let's remove, this is super annoying. How can you work like this? So I run the game, I get to the title screen. Obviously we would spawn off screen, right? But I start swimming and I get the rock and it starts, right? And that is loaded asynchronously. And what we could do is, I don't know, 200 and 100, right? And this could come from a file, right? This could come from a file. So that's one thing, right? So that's nice. And now I die, which is fine. I go into respawn and now I start swimming again, right? So, whoa, rock duplication. And I die. And I die. And I respawn and I start swimming. So we need a cleanup. So spawn zone, public void cleanup. Right? And basically we want to iterate. So when do we clean up? I think on the respawn, right? So the fish, if the state manager is not null, we have to go to dying. We have a waiting for start, right? So we make that a go to state. Right, to waiting for start, right? We still want a full state management system cleanup. You could say we can clean up earlier or later. Yeah. And we should have double protection that we don't accidentally, right? Let's put this at the, actually, let's do this early. So we do this first so we can do a check. Hey, if somebody else, too much information for today. So what we want to do in the cleanup here, right? Unity, remove all children. So a transform has a get child, right? Unity transform reference. It has children. Transform. We've seen it has a get child, right? I wonder if for each transform child, for each child in dot transform, right? We can use that for each child in obstacles. For each child in obstacles dot transform. All right, that should work. And I think there's a destroy. I thought there was a destroy deferred. Let's see. Let's see what could go wrong. So killed. I want the old rocks there, right? I want you to see what you hit. And then probably, maybe on respawn, but so wasn't the cleanup called, or didn't the... I think we didn't call the cleanup, right? Go to waiting for start, and in waiting for start, we call cleanup, and then we debug dot log destroying. I'm not sure this is gonna work. No overload takes 0 arguments. Yeah, it's... I think it's this, right? So let's see if any children are actually destroyed. Probably when we respawn, we want to clean up, right? Cleanup is called, and then no child is. For each transform child in transform. Every object in the scene has a transform. Every transform have a parent. Yeah, because we never... I mean, well, we never spawn this, right? Unity set parent of object in script. I mean, I want to instantiate that returns an object, right? So what we can say is, I'm gonna clean this up, right? Game object O equals this, and then we say O dot set parent is this dot obstacles, right? We need to put it, it's probably like this. It's weird, but the hierarchy argument 1. Oh, so you don't link the objects, you link their transforms, right? Unity Knowledge 101. I keep forgetting that because it does not make any sense in my mind. So if I run this now, we just fixed one of the rocks, right? But if I run this now and kill the fish, and I still want to do the on dead, we do the cleanup. Or maybe on respawning while the fish is swimming in. And specific cast is not valid. Okay, because same again, right? This is not a game object, this is a transform. It's linking the component under it. Don't think about it, just accept it. Right, so I'm gonna move it to, so we're respawning. Can't destroy transferred component. If you wanted to, please call destroy on the game object instead. Okay, so we're almost there. So we want to destroy the game object. That's I didn't type collision, right? And actually real quick go to I'm gonna do a go to respawn, go to respawning, and basically we do state, wait, I want to do the cleanup here, right? And then we don't want to do the cleanup here. You want to start putting in stuff on respawn that might be animated, might take time to load, so do it a bit earlier, but we don't have a go to state respawning, right? On update, we update waiting for start. No, we have update dead. And up go to respawning. We're slowly cleaning up this mess, right? Respawn wing. Respawn wing. And we want this first and just once, and I'm gonna fix the typo, right? Respawning. Respawning. Can you? It's line 131. I'm not sure what happened to the editor there. Oh, whole words only. Respawning, 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 respawning. It was just those, right? Can we just clear this old stuff? I need to grab a drink. So, okay. Same old, same old. We die. We're dead. And the first rock disappeared, right? Because we parented it correctly. So when we spawn the zone, and this should be a loop, right? Over a list of, don't do it like this. This is just for demonstration purposes. Dirty old trick. Because this will be inside a loop anyway, which will be a scope, so. And come from a file, and so 3 rocks, I kill, I'm dead, I respawn, all the rocks are gone, I start playing again, all the rocks are, they should spawn off screen, right? They should absolutely spawn off screen and wrap off screen as well. So we're gonna do that. So the obstacle, the wrapping, right, is at, I don't know, 1200. And maybe for symmetry reasons, this step is just killing my flow. So this is one of the, okay. So now they go off screen and then they wrap around. So it's not that obvious. I kill. Probably that layer should fade out at this point, or blink, or explode, or, and then I restart and I start from a clean slate. And obviously the spawning in also should be like, I don't know, maybe we add 1500, 1200, and minus 900 for the time being, right? We load the zone file later, so I'm not so worried about this. So, oh, wait. We wanted to move to the right, right? So we add, I don't know, we want this to be 1200, this to be 1500, and this to be, I don't know. Let's do even spacing for the moment, right? Clear slate, we start playing, we pick a random zone, we spawn the obstacles, surprise the player. Oh, what's the rock? Oh, I shouldn't touch the rock. I shouldn't touch the rock. So let's start again. And what I just saw here is, I think we want to go a tiny bit lower with the rocks. Maybe we do 410. I didn't want to go all the way to 420, but there was this tiny 1 pixel line, and just push them off screen and we're fine, right? This looks nice. Yes, looks nice. So let's do a build as new addressables. Oh, I want to save the scene. I just want to see if it still works when we build and package it. I mean, I don't even care, right? I care about this and the rocks flying by in the background. And I'm dying. I think that in the original the speed was the same, but I think there should be some acceleration involved. So the nice thing is if I play hands-free now, they're just gonna loop forever, and I'm gonna take this for a quick break. This makes for a nice, tranquil. I want to add auto swimming for the fish, so I can just run it full screen and it will run through the zones. And ad break still ongoing for a minute, so. Don't do it, don't do it, no! Oh, you made it. All the way to the deepest ocean, and now we... I think maybe a circle collider on the head of the fish is enough. It's too warm. Maybe a circle collider on the head of the fish is enough. And maybe some nice fade out of the objects, right? Maybe we just tell the objects to maybe add an interface and the objects know how to go away. Too much. We want to re-implement the old version, right? We want to re-implement the old version. And with that, I would say obstacles with collisions, basic. We started to do zone management a little bit. So probably yeah, we're gonna do the zones. I mean, we have kind of handled death and restart, right? So we have basic fish movement. We have set up obstacles and collisions, and we have hash unity add simple zone management. I mean, it counts, right? It counts. So I will we add the to do. Really, we added the sampled scene. We added the script. Right? We fixed a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of hacks in there. We added the addressables. Actually, season 01, and I call this episode 3, right? Even if it was 2 episodes in one day. Add basic obstacle handling. Load obstacle prefab via addressable. I mean, addressable sounds so fancy. Basically, instead of giving it the pass, you give it a name, and the rest is done automatically, right? So it's 5-minute work. So this assets, we want to we need to add the DS, or this is Godot, right? This is Godot. Unity. We want the addressable settings, all the meta files here, right? Schemas, lots of stuff for addressables, the data builder, the links, the prefabs for the assets, the prefabs folder, the game manager, the obstacle script, the textures for the obstacles, all the metadata for that, and the scriptable pipeline JSON. Okay. I so want a cloud-based build on push. Sorry, gonna. Sorry, air condition knows. So I think with that, wow. So Unity is not eating too much CPU. I don't know why my Vocast is eating CPU. But so we leave it open for the time being. And now we do the same basically the same in Godot, right? I mean, we're a bit behind. We have some basic movement, which is not goodish yet. And we still have the weird, but I'm gonna ignore that for the time being. We'll find a way. I'm not worried about that. So what we're gonna do, and this is gonna be a bit brain fry because we've done part of this. We want to do the fish basic movement, right? The whole life cycle of the fish, including the respawn. And that is, I'll try to open the window again. Maybe I get lucky. Maybe I get lucky and don't die of a heat death. If the noise is too much, let me know. So we have the basic fish movement, right? The fish can move and we can kill the fish and the fish can respawn. So that is all nice. I think the kill animation is actually working already. right? Including the correct speed. So we need to do the swim thing. We need to do the swim state. And physics process swimming, right? And basically this here needs to be replaced once more by this here, right? So instead of changing the position directly, we want to change the angle, right? And that is 120 degrees per time step clipped at whatever. So I think we copy this in once more. Is it still? I don't even want to know, but it's probably still in here. Something for cleanup phase, right? So, okay, brain switch. I mean, the second you open the window, somebody plays music, and the thing with music is copyright strikes. Okay, so okay, yeah. Can I do a block? We're gonna replace it, right? I'm gonna replace it line by line. So funk, get angle range for y, right? And the y is a float. And I'm not sure. Can we do this? Can we return a tuple? Right? Okay, so let's do this line by line, right? We have a float limit that is 35.0. We have a float range that is 1 over, and yes, usually I would make all of this dynamic, but since we want to copy the game one by one, I'm not going to tweak these values, right? And then we say float a equals, how do we do mass? I don't know how we do mass in GDScript. So I assume we can do abs of y, right? Times range. And I want the sinus of that. I just assume that is working, right? That's this. So this is commented out, this is commented out, and then we say float m is limit times 1.0 minus a times a times a times a. This is just a to the power of 4, right? Is what it is. We don't need semicolons here, right? Is it var? Oh, is it var limit colon float, right? It's var, and it's, okay. I was confused about the float. I'm not even sure if we need to give it the explicit, right? And then we say if y is smaller than 0, then we return, I'm not sure if this works, right? But we return minus limit and m. No mute today, sorry. And sorry about that. And otherwise we return minus m and limit, right? Minus m and limit. And we remove all of this because let's see. Ooh. Okay, so it doesn't like our var float limit. Why? Expected return type or void after. So this is not working, right? So GD script return tuple. I mean, otherwise we just create a struct. Tuples in GD script. Either use an array can I use an array of floats? Can I just use an array of float here? I mean, it's non-ideal. And I just return an array. GD script return array. Or is this just array? Is this array of float? Ah, yeah, no. Can I do this? Yes, I can, and then I just return this, right? Yes. I mean, non-ideal since we might return more than 2 values by accident. And yes, mixing languages in one day is always gonna be interesting. So that's the limit function, right? So what we want to do next is when we're swimming out, we're setting the angle, right? So instead of doing this, okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say float angle equals, let's just call it A, right? Float angle is self dot transform dot row. Yeah, var A float. We probably don't need the float, right? Get rotation dot z parse error line 63. What did I do? Cannot find. Oh, it's 2D, so it's just the rotation, right? Rotation. So if we're going down, right? If we're going down, we say A plus equals the rotation speed, which is 120, times delta, right? And if we're going up, we say A is the opposite, right? And then we say self dot transform dot rotated returns a copy of the transform rotated by the given angle. But I don't want to. So we have a transform, right? It has an origin. It has an origin and a get rotation. Returns it in radians. This is equivalent to X angle. Oh, can we just use... Can we just set the angle on X? No. Can you? This is so confusing. So this is self.transform. Did we do rotation somewhere? We did rotation in the dying, right? And then we've... I know we did that. We did that already. Where did we do that? GD script set 2D rotation. Rotation physics process. Rotation equals rotation direction times rotation. Wait, we can just set the rotation directly? Can we? Self.rotation. Oh, degrees. Let's just use that, right? Because we want degrees. And then we set the rotation to the new rotation. Right? Assignment is not allowed inside an expression. Oh, oh, the indentation was messed up. Oh. I turn this way and I turn this way. This looks right, and the speed also looks right, right? We don't do the clamping. Right? We need to do the min-maxing here. So we say A equals A clamp F A comma var m equals get value range for self dot transform dot origin dot y, right? And this is basically m0, and this is m1, and we might have the same problem, right? Too few arguments to clamp F. Three arguments. Three arguments. Oh. So this will probably have the same... Yeah, it does have the same problem, right? So what we can do here is print A, right? Because it clamps at 35. Okay, let's fish, right? And we have the rotation here. And this script is fighting me, so let's go into the game scene, right? game scene, select the fish, and the rotation here is minus 35 to 35, right? So I think we have up and down mixed up. We have up and down mixed up, so 35 is okay. We're gonna duplicate this line, right? So it tries to go up, up. It tries to go up, right? And up is rotation negative. What if we just don't do anything here, right? Ah, come on. Right, it always ends up at 35. It's negative. It's negative 34, and we clamp it to what is the clamping range? Are we both values are 35 that we're clamping to, right? Okay. So limit is 35, range is 280. We do the apps of the position. So the apps of the position is fine, right? The apps of the position is fine, the limit is fine, and this probably should return the other direction, right? I mean, it doesn't really... So where does this print come from? The angle is not changed, right? And I want to actually... Oh, so this is... Oh, okay. I think the first calculation messes up our... So we get 35 and 35. Why? Why do we get 35? And because limit... Wait a second. So y is 0, right? Oh. No, it's M0 and M1. Print. Limit. And M, right? I'm so deep in C# now. So both are 35. How can both be 35? I mean, one should be negative, right? Oh, but both are 35, right? And I'm returning y is probably equal 0, so I return 35 and 35. Is that what we want to see? I mean, here's the thing, right? Y is probably 0. Y is 0. So I want minus 35 to 35, right? Did I mess up the formula? So limit is 35. Range is this. I take the abs of y times the range. So the abs of y, the abs of 0 is 0. So this is 0. This is in radiant, right? This is in radiant, so GD script deck to red. It's just a multiplication. Maybe there's an optimized version, right? Godot use deck to red. Each function takes a float. Deck to red. Deck to red takes a float, and we do a deck to red, right? Because that's the range. And the range in radiant is probably a bit too much. And maybe I do it here, right? So the range is 35 to 30. I expect the range to be minus 35 to 35, right? So y is 0, so it's returning m and limit. If limit is 35, right? That's correct. What is a? I mean, limit is a is 0, right? I guess my wild guess is a is 0. A is 0. Why is a 0? This worked for the others, right? What's the difference here? Okay. Probably we should do this here, right? I mean, not that it matters much. So to be honest, this works, right? Take this on. Oh, wait. We return minus limit. Oh, there is a minus missing here. Duh. I mean, now it returns a range of minus 35 to 35, and then it doesn't clamp that, right? Which is good. Which is good. So let's change this to see if we probably still have a direction error. That was a bad typo, right? Okay, we're turning in the wrong direction. We're turning in the wrong. Why? Wrong direction. I don't know how that happened. we're turning in the wrong direction, right? And now we clamp to minus 35 and 35. No, minus 35 and 35. So that's good, right? So that's the angle correct, and we fix the other angle problems once we get there. So the angle is okay. Now we need to actually get the delta, right? So the delta, and the careful. So we have the rotation, right? We have the rotation, and the delta y is the angle, and we need to take the sinus of this, right? And this probably also needs a deck to red, right? Because our angle is, no, our angle is in, we need to take a deck to red here, right? Because our angle is in degrees and this value is in degrees. That was calculated by magic, I guess. I mean, and this is the speed and this is the delta, right? Delta. And then I just say self-transform origin plus equals delta y. And the plus is probably the wrong direction, upside down. Let's see. Okay. Print dy. It's going down. So I want to multiply this by, I don't know, 100, right? It's going up and it's going, so the direction is wrong. Okay. So the direction is wrong. That's easy, right? Going down, going up. Too fast now. But if I don't multiply this, this is too small, right? Why is this so? A is in degrees, right? Where did the, where does this factor come from, right? Why do we divide this angle at all? Because okay, I print deck to red of A and A divided by this, right? So you see these two values here? This basically is doing the deck to red, right? That is 2 pi over 360. That is pi over 180. Magic numbers for the win. So we're double doing it, and that's why it didn't work, right? So going down, going up, going down, getting killed. Ooh, that. I'm gonna ignore that, but did you see that? Right, so Oh, that's what we get for doing it in animation, right? Here's the thing is, if you go into the fish, we have the fish, and we manipulating this, right? And we have the animated offset, but that is on top of what we do on the fish. So probably we should do it the other way around. So what we should do is, so add child node, node 2D, right? Node 2D, put these two under that. Call this transform, right? And let's make this access unique, and in the script, right? In this, everywhere where we touch the transform, right? So everywhere where we touch the transform, we should instead say transform, right? And do this. Does it make sense? Instead of applying the modifications on this and then applying the animated offset, we apply the animated offset and then apply our offset. The order of multiplication, so to say, is different, right? So I'm gonna copy this, and oh, this is ugly. So here I'm gonna, right? A is instead this dot rotation degrees, right? And not this. And then I want to keep both versions here for the moment, right? And this is not self, this is percent of the transform. Same here. Right, and same here. I'm leaving the old one there for reference in case we mess up so badly, right? So that is swimming. So if we the problem is we want to apply the rotate. Ah, this is I'm not a fan of this. So we want to apply the rotation on the hierarchies. Hierarchies and heat. So okay, let me just to catch you up, right? I'm here. I'm here, right? If I rotate this, I rotate around the pivot point of the fish, right? If I rotate this, it's the same, right? But if I have an offset here, can I just drag this? So if I put 20 here, right? Well, let's put 100 here. If I rotate this, I rotate around the center of the fish, right? But if I rotate this, I rotate around the center of the pivot. So we do want to rotate around the center of the fish, which I thought we did. Right? Wait, so why is the fish swimming up? Right? Why is the, so the fish, 0, 0. The animated offset 0, 0, and the transform also 0, 0. Why is it swimming up? Oh, the rotation is minus 35. Why? Who? Okay, this is better, right? Maybe that was a leftover. So the fish has a rotation. Why does the fish have a rotation? I mean, this rotation I expect, but this rotation I don't expect. And this position here should be... Okay. This rotation here should be 0, right? And then we can put here, because the problem is if we rotate this here, right? Then this here is along the changed direction, right? So who's rotating the fish? Who's rotating the fish is the core question, right? Because the transform here is 0, and then I start it, and then this here is minus 35, so something is already happening. Oh, we're doing both, right? Was that the problem? No. Self dot rotation. I mean, okay. But who is... Somebody is updating this rotation, right? Just once. Just once. So on start, this rotation here is updated. And it shouldn't be, right? Who's doing that? Did I forget anything? So we shouldn't be processing swimming, right? So our initial state is waiting for start. So we're waiting for start, right? We are, sorry for scrolling. Let's make this bigger. So process, right? We're not in state swimming. We're not in state dead. We're in state waiting for start. So we're waiting for a key, right? In physics process, we don't do anything, right? So who the hell is updating our angle? Right? Because the second I press go, I have this rotation here. Why? Who sets this rotation here? I mean, the thing is, if I set this to 0, then everything works as expected, right? And then I press kill, and that works. And then I respawn, and that works. So the question is, where does this come from? I mean, so what if in the beginning of process we just say pass, and in the beginning of physics process we say pass, right? That means what if we do a return here? I'm confused. So, right, none of our code. So So this fish has a rotation of 0, right? And it has this script. I mean, we play the swim, right? So what if we don't play the swim? Well, let's do it the other way around, right? Let's just return here. Is it the swim animation that has the... The swim animation has the rotation in it? Why? Animation... Swim... Animate... Wait. Where's our animation? So we have a rotation here, right? We have a keyframe for rotation. Let's disable that for the moment and just see if we... It's not that, right? But we have... Wait. That's the reset, right? We have a dying. And we have a respawn. And we have a reset. Let's disable them all, right? And we still have the rotation here. And we actually have the rotation on the... Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reload the current project. Who the... So somebody is telling the fish to change its rotation, right? Who? I mean, okay, let's start the scene, right? Let's start the scene. So what if the game has no script, right? What did we... Where's our scripts? So that's the only script, right? So we're doing nothing. Let's return here too. And our fish here has a rotation of -35, right? Who does that? So ready returns, process returns, physics process returns. Fish, okay. So this is on animation finished, right? Okay. It's actually, we have this on animation finished, right? On animate print anim name. So no, the swim is not finished, right? But what we can also do on animation changed, right? And we connect this. And let's just, it's a bit of, where does this rotation come from? New name, right? The old name we don't care about. Animation change, current. It's probably this, right? Oh, weird. Where is this rotation coming from? Who's doing that? Wait. Who? So if I run the single scene, right, and just look into the fish, it's not rotated, right? There's no rotation here. But if I run the scene, where does this rotation come from? There's where I didn't did. Okay. So let's slowly re-enable stuff. So we do this, right? So the fish should swim. We have no rotation, right? I wish we could. We have no rotation here. We could just trace it every frame, right? We process the inputs. We have no rotation here. We have no rotation here. We have, and that works, right? Okay, so let's did I accidentally save that at some point? So this works, right? I kill, I rotate in the right place, I respawn, and everything is fine, right? Because we do the rotation in the other order and apply the animation first. Well, we apply the rotation first and then apply the animation, but that is okay, right? So if I'm at the very bottom and die, okay, so we only did half this thing, right? Because, oh, so, okay, step by step, right? So we want the rotation. You do the rotation on the transform, right? But we want to do the transform actually on the node, right? Or is it the other way around? Brain, right? This works. I kill and this works, right? I think the dying. Okay. I think we shot ourselves a little bit in the foot by doing this via animations, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into the fish and we're gonna remove this transform again, right? We're gonna move these here, delete this, and then anywhere we say transform, right, we do this. Give me a second to explain, right? So I think that's it. So now, oh, we have, we forgot one. Okay. Fair enough, we forgot one. So the problem is, right, when we kill, we apply the wrong animation. So what we're gonna do is we put these back here, right? We forget the animated offset. Well, for the moment, we're gonna remove it from the animations, but that means when we die, right? When we die, we don't have the rotation and the moving anymore, and it will never finish, right? And then the respawn will, oh, on the reset, we also forget. Well, I think I'm calling it a day, right? So this works, kill works. It doesn't swim up anymore, but we can do that in code easily. And the respawn just doesn't do anything anymore, right? But this all works. So, okay. That means the animation offset we just delete. That means the animation player here, the animation, right? The dying track and the respawn track, we don't need that anymore, right? So the animated sprite has the animation, right? So I think this one here, I'm gonna delete this, right? And oh, our kill animation. Oh, okay. We just do this. And we just do this, right? It was a nice idea, but let's keep it simple and do it like the original. So that works. Obviously, the fish doesn't swim up anymore, but the code for that is actually, let's remove this. So physics process swimming, right? So we have physics process dying, and this is update dying, and basically we have the rotation 90 degrees over 1.5 seconds, right? So the speed is 60. And we know how to do a rotation, right? We say, so after rotation in degrees, var a is plus equals 60.0 times delta, a dot clamp, no, a equals clamp f a comma minus 90, right? Probably we have a min f, max f, right? And then we say self dot rotation degrees equals alpha, right? That is the rotation, probably in the wrong direction now. Probably in the wrong direction now, so minus 60, and the max there probably is also wrong, right? So it rotates and stops at 90. Okay, that is good. And then we want to move at 1.592, right? Just for you. At, well, 1.5, 192, right? So we transform this by 192, and then we have the dying back in code. I mean, it was a nice idea, but this looks good, right? This looks good. Obviously, we're not off screen, right? So, and we missed some resets, so we know the fish is 128, right? So dying, off screen, respawn, and the respawn logic needs to be manually done, right? So this doesn't need to be hooked up anymore. We can just remove that, right? Making things simpler. We need to do the respawn now manually, right? So, okay, dying, everything's fine. Respawn, and that works, right? So when we are waiting for start, wait, we are dead, and we basically say self.transform, no, rotation degrees equals 0.0, right? Could use some cleanup, but and we spawn in the middle, but we don't want to spawn in the middle, right? We want to set the transform origin axis, I don't know, minus 1200, right? And then if we are respawning, we don't do anything, right? We don't do anything. That means we die, we respawn, and nothing ever happens, right? So we need a physics process respawning. Oh man, this feels so much better. Respawning, and that means we need a respawning, right? Spawning, which doesn't exist. So func delta float. I can't type anymore, so it's probably time to call it a day. Ads are gonna start soon, right? And now we basically, the logic didn't exist, but basically we want to steal this, right? Well, we want to implement it the same way. So while we're respawning, I'm not sure what I did there. While we're respawning, in the physics, we change the x by 256 times delta, right? I mean, so much easier to read than this. And then if self.transform origin.x is larger or equal than minus 512, we say self.state equals state.waiting for start, right? Let's see how this goes. So we swim, 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 we kill, 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 we die, die, die. We're off screen, we trigger the respawn, we swim back in, we're ready for start, we start. And with that, looking at the time, I really want to do obstacles in Godot, but we're not gonna get there today, right? So I really want to, but that's a story for tomorrow morning. It's been a great and very, very successful though. So let's okay. We stage the actually okay. Too many open windows, right? We did this, right? We did this. So fish and basic movement is done in both versions. And this, to be honest, the switching between both projects is slowly driving me a bit cuckoo, but it's okay. Not complaining too much here. Update the to-do. We removed the animation sync completely, right? Fair enough. And then I'm pretty sure there's some files I forgot. I can SVG import. We'll look into that. So, season 1, episode 3, and I look at this commit and say this can't be true, but okay, at basic fish movement in Godot. Commit, rebase, push. With that, you know who I am. It has been my pleasure. We're slowly getting there. We're getting there fast. We're getting there fast, right? Where's my... Wait, we... Oh. We killed the limit. Okay. Something for tomorrow. The fish is not holding the limits. But for today, it's Saturday night. Maybe I do one Sunday morning. Let's see. As always, stay safe. Love you all. Bye bye.